Last time I talked about the midbrain, pretty much what it is, its role, and the aspects of it. This is the final part of a three-part series about the different parts of the brainstem: the hindbrain, the midbrain, and the forebrain. So let's begin. Let me introduce the subject and answer one general question. What is the forebrain? Well, the forebrain, also known as the prosencephalon, is the largest part of the brainstem and is the most anterior or nearest to the front. It controls thought and reason, and the human forebrain is what helps distinguish the human brain from other species' brains. The forebrain is essentially divided into two hemispheres, the diencephalon and the telencephalon. Within these two divisions, there are four main areas of interest: the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the amygdala, and the hippocampus. Over here, you can see that the forebrain is the most superior and is the most anterior in the brainstem. Going more into depth into the so-called split, the diencephalon is the most inferior part of the forebrain, meaning it is the lowest part. And it houses the thalamus and hypothalamus, which form the limbic system. And this system combines emotion and other mental functions, such as memory and sensory details, into one. So over here, you can see that diencephalon is the most inferior part of the forebrain, which is right below the telencephalon. The telencephalon, on the other hand, is the most superior portion, meaning it is the higher part of the forebrain. As you can see here, it is the most superior in the brainstem as well as the forebrain. It contains the cerebrum, which is important for cognitive function and processing. The first of the four structures in question is the thalamus. Located at the top of the brainstem in the diencephalon, but under the telencephalon, it receives sensory signals from the spinal cord, which are sent to lobes and hemispheres. The thalamus serves as the control center and sends signals to effectors later on. So right here you can see that the thalamus is this big portion in the middle of the brain, but it is right underneath this telencephalon up here. Next is the hypothalamus, which is located next to the thalamus. Over here you can see that the hypothalamus is here and the thalamus is over here. And regardless of its minuscule size compared to its neighbors, it controls a multitude of metabolic functions and behaviors such as body temperature, the endocrine system, which controls hormones, sexual arousal, hunger, and thirst. Another of its important functions is its control of the circadian rhythms, which is the body's internal clock for maintaining the sleep-wake cycle. It receives stimuli and sends signals to other areas of the limbic system to trigger different responses, such as a flight or fight, which I'll get into right now. The amygdala is the emotional center of the brain and is located near the end of each hippocampal arm, which I'll get into next. The left and right temporal lobes each have an amygdala, so there's one in each lobe. When receiving stimuli, it helps the brain judge the severity of a situation, thus resulting in the possible initiation of the flight or fight reaction when needed. This is when your brain basically triggers your body to inject adrenaline into your bloodstream. It is necessary for emotional experience and expression, and it works with the hippocampus to arouse emotional arousal and create emotionally rich memories based on past experiences. Over here, you can see that the amygdala is at the end of the hippocampal arm, which surrounds the lobes. Speaking of which, the hippocampus is located far in the temporal lobe. It is known for using past experiences to form memories. If damaged, a person may not be able to form new memories. And recent research has shown it is also needed for storage. And with brain damage, its importance might dwindle. So over here, you can see that the hippocampus is over here in the lobes. If you were to see this from a ventral view, you would see that the amygdala rests on each arm, and another arm is like imaginarily behind this picture. And that is some information about the forebrain. Thank you so much for listening, and be sure to stay tuned for some more information about the interesting organ known as the brain.